I walked into a room that hadn't been cleaned in days, expecting the usual stale air, but instead it smelled fresh. Not like chemical sprays, not like store bought perfumes, but something natural, earthy, and oddly comforting. The strange part? There was no air freshener, no scented candle, no plug in diffuser, just a simple, forgotten method that people used centuries ago to keep their homes smelling clean. We live in a world where fresh air is sold in cans, where companies convince us we need expensive gadgets to mask odors. But what if the secret was already known long before electricity, before sprays, before synthetic fragrances? What if the answer was hiding in plain sight, buried in tradition? I decided to test it myself. Could this old trick really make a room smell fresh without chemicals? Could it actually compete with modern solutions? Or was it just another myth from the past? What I discovered shocked me, and it might change the way you think about the air inside your home. For centuries, people didn't have Febreze, scented candles, or plug in diffusers. Yet their homes didn't reek of dampness or stale air. They relied on natural methods, herbs, resins, smoke, and simple tricks passed down through generations. One of those methods has been almost forgotten today. The idea is simple. Instead of masking bad smells, you purify the air with natural elements that absorb or neutralize odors. Think of it like nature's own filter. People believe this method not only kept rooms fresh but also protected against illness. In medieval times, homes were fumigated with herbs like rosemary and thyme. In Asia, people burned dried citrus peels. In the Middle East, resins like frankincense and myrrh were used to cleanse the air. Why does this matter now? Because modern air fresheners are loaded with chemicals that can irritate lungs, trigger allergies, and cost a fortune. We spend money every month on sprays and candles that only cover up smells temporarily. But this forgotten method is cheap, safe, and surprisingly effective. I wanted to see if it really worked. Could a handful of dried herbs or peels actually make my room smell fresher than a $20 candle? Could something so simple compete with modern science? The claim was bold, but the curiosity was stronger. I started by gathering supplies. No fancy gadgets, no expensive oils, just dried orange peels, a sprig of rosemary, and a clay bowl. That's it. I placed them on my desk, staring at them with doubt. Could this really change the air in my room? I kept asking myself, what if this is just folklore? What if it's nothing more than superstition? People in the past didn't have options, so maybe they convinced themselves it worked. But then again, they survived without modern chemicals. Maybe they knew something we've forgotten. The tension built as I prepared the setup. I crushed the orange peel slightly to release their oils. The rosemary gave off a sharp pine like scent. I placed them together in the bowl and set it near the window. The idea was simple: let the natural oils slowly diffuse into the air. But doubts lingered. Would the smell fade in minutes? Would it even be noticeable? Or would I end up with nothing but dried leaves sitting uselessly in a bowl? This was the moment of suspense. I was about to find out if ancient wisdom could stand against modern convenience. I left the bowl in the room and closed the door. After 15 minutes, I walked back in. The change was subtle but real. The stale air was gone. Instead, there was a light, citrusy freshness mixed with the sharpness of rosemary. It didn't smell artificial, it smelled alive. I tested further. I placed another bowl in the kitchen where cooking odors usually linger. Within half an hour, the heavy smell of fried food was replaced by a clean, herbal aroma. It wasn't overpowering, but it was noticeable. To push the experiment, I tried burning a small piece of dried peel. The smoke carried the scent faster, filling the room in minutes. It reminded me of incense, but softer, less aggressive. I kept checking. Was this just temporary? Would the freshness vanish quickly? But the scent lingered for hours. This was where things got interesting. A simple bowl of dried peels and herbs was competing with store-bought sprays, and it was doing it naturally. But then something unexpected happened. I left the bowl overnight. The next morning, the room didn't just smell fresh, it smelled cleaner, lighter, almost purified. It wasn't just covering odors, it felt like the air itself had changed. I realized the oils in the peels and herbs were slowly releasing compounds that neutralized bad smells. This wasn't just folklore, it was chemistry. Citrus oils contain limonene, which breaks down odor molecules. Rosemary releases compounds that act as mild disinfectants. Together, they weren't just adding scent, they were cleansing the air. The twist was clear. This forgotten method wasn't just effective, it was scientifically sound. And here's the kicker, it cost me nothing. The peels were leftovers from fruit I'd already eaten. The rosemary was from my kitchen. Compared to expensive sprays, this was practically free. Expectation versus reality. I thought I'd end up with a weak, temporary scent. Instead, I had a lasting freshness that felt natural and clean. The room smelled better than it ever did with candles or sprays. The result was satisfying. No chemicals, no artificial perfumes, no recurring costs. Just a bowl of natural materials doing what they've done for centuries. I compared it directly with a store bought spray. The spray gave a strong scent for 10 minutes, then faded. The natural method lasted hours and it didn't feel heavy or fake. This wasn't just about smell, it was about rediscovering something we've lost, a simple, sustainable way to keep our homes fresh. So, does it work? Absolutely. But here's the honest truth, it's not for everyone. If you want instant, overpowering fragrance, stick to sprays. If you want decorative candles, keep buying them. But if you want natural freshness, safety, and savings, this method is for you. My verdict, this forgotten trick deserves a comeback. It's simple, effective, and rooted in tradition. Anyone can try it with kitchen leftovers, and with 10 minutes arrives, the review comes out. No blow. This experiment taught me something bigger than air freshening. It taught me that sometimes the best solutions are the ones we've forgotten. It taught me that nature already provides what we need if we're willing to look back. If you're tired of chemical sprays, if you're curious about natural living, or if you just want to try something different, give this method a shot. Start small, test it, see how it feels. For me, it wasn't just about making a room smell fresh, it was about proving that tradition still has value. And that's what this channel is about, real experiments, real results, and rediscovering forgotten wisdom. Next time, I'm testing something even stranger, because the past is full of secrets, and I'm here to uncover them.